This video is about quadratic function. Let's look at the formula about quadratic function. For SL 2.5, axis of symmetry of the graph of a quadratic function. This is the only information for IB exam in SL level. For f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, the axis of symmetry, normally we use AOS. To show axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. Besides this information, we need to know the following. First of all, you have to know three forms of a quadratic function. F of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We call this is a standard form. For b, we have a vertex form. That is ax minus h squared plus k. Vertex form, which means we can get the vertex. That's its hk. This h equals negative b over 2a, and k equals f of h. Also, we have a factoring form. F of x equals a x minus x1 times x minus x2. We know this h equals negative b over 2a. It also equals the midpoint of x1 and x2, which means x1 plus x2 over 2. And h basically is the axis of symmetry. So let's write down AOS, x equals negative b over 2a, also equals x1 plus x2 over 2. Number 2, we need to know for f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The y-intercept, that is f of 0. That equals a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. So you have a y-intercept will be 0, c. And a third one, for those three forms, if a greater than 0, the graph open up. And if a less than 0, it open down. And also for number 4, we do know for f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The x-intercept equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. How many roots the quadratic function has will based on b squared minus 4ac. When b squared minus 4ac greater than 0, which means square root b squared minus 4ac, which means when you do negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a, we'll have two answers, which means the function has two roots. Two roots means two x-intercepts. Therefore, the graph will be like this. It will intersect x-axis twice. For b squared minus 4ac equals to 0, which means square root b squared minus 4ac equals to 0, when negative b plus or minus 0 all over 2a will be negative b over 2a, which means the function has one solution, one root. The graph will intersect x-axis only once. For b squared minus 4ac less than 0, when you're looking for square root, b squared minus 4ac will be error, which means no solution or no root. In other words, the graph of a quadratic function won't touch x-axis. So the graph, just like these two, it will not touch x-axis. For number 5, we have f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c and y equals p. For what value of p, these two functions has one solution, two solutions, and no solution. When a greater than 0, we know the graph opens up. Suppose this is a hk. We have a minimum point for the quadratic function. When a less than 0, graph opens down, and we have a maximum point. Let's label as hk. We do know that h equals negative b over 2a. When y equals p intersect the quadratic function twice, which means there are two solutions. When y equals p intersect the function only once, then there is only one solution. In other words, when y equals p is passing through the minimum or maximum point, then there will be one solution. When y equals p doesn't intersect the quadratic function, then no solution. Therefore, when p equals k, then there is one solution for these two functions. For a greater than 0, when this p is greater than k, it will intersect quadratic function twice. For a less than 0, when this p is less than k, then it will intersect quadratic function twice. Therefore, two solutions for a greater than 0 is p greater than k. For a less than 0, this p will be less than k. No solution, which means y equals p will not touch the graph like this or like this. So for a greater than 0, we know this p is less than k. For a less than 0, this p greater than k. so that there's no intersection between these two functions.